Hello, welcome back to my channel and to today's video, which I'm very excited to share because it's all about Uniqlo's HEATTECH range, one of my favourite ranges, which by the way has just celebrated its 20th birthday. I had no idea that HEATTECH had been around for that many years. I've personally been shopping with Uniqlo for about 5 years now, maybe just a little bit over. That was down to viewer recommendations, so thank you very much. And my first introduction to the brand was HEATTECH. And that, shall we say, became the spark that ignited my love of Uniqlo. Now, before I dive into each category, there are some terms that you guys probably need to know because these pertain to the level of warmth. So first of all is classic HEATTECH, and this is basically the starting level in terms of warmth. Next up is extra warm. This is 1.5 times thicker than classic HEATTECH. And then finally, ultra warm. This is the warmest of the HEATTECH range at 2.25 times thicker than the classic HEATTECH. Right, so I'm going to start off with the fleece range. This is from the classic, so the starting level of warmth, if you will. So they've got a couple of pieces within this fleece range. We've got the crew neck here and also the turtleneck, which has got the higher rollover neck. These are fleecy on the outside, but not on the inside. And these I will either wear as a base layer. I've got about 3 of these and I tend to use them for dog walking. And let me tell you, they get daily use. So every morning we go out on our dog walk and through probably mid-autumn to all the way through until early spring, I will be wearing these every single day. They wash well, they wear well, they last. I couldn't recommend them enough, especially if you do have, let's say maybe a slightly more active outdoorsy lifestyle, if you like hiking, if you have dog walks or daily walks, whatever it may be. They're just a really good practical base layer, I suppose. Now they come in a decent range of colours. They've got a couple of slightly more earthy, neutrally tones with this dark green and the beige, but then there's some richer tones which have been added this year as well, this sort of deep red burgundy, and of course classics like black, grey and cream. Now in terms of fabric composition, and this goes for most of the HEATTECH range at Uniqlo, it is predominantly man-made fibres or synthetic fibres. There's often a bit of a mix, sometimes it's cashmere, sometimes it's wool. In this case there is 30% viscose, so that is the natural fibre that is mixed in with, let's say, acrylic and polyester. And in terms of size, I've actually got smalls and mediums here just to share with you guys when I try them on as a comparison. I tend to go for a medium because I do wear them more as not a thermal layer, but just as my top of the day. And I might wear these over the top of a thermal that we're going to get to in a moment. And then I'll wear them under a fleece or a jacket. Right, now we're going to move on to the extra warm range. And in this, there are a few different pieces with different fabric makeups. So these first ones are the cotton blended extra warm base layers. They're the thermals, if you like. So these are the ones that tend to come in the little packets when you see them in store. So we've got the crew neck t-shirt and also the leggings. They come in some quite basic colours, but again, these are thermals, so they are designed to be worn underneath your clothes. So for me personally, the colours don't really matter. I tend to have them in the darker colours like blacks, just because that is my preference. So as these are a blended cotton, they have 53% cotton within that fabric composition, and then the rest is artificial or man-made fibres. However, inside is 100% cotton. So inside each of the garments, it has a softer, more brushed feel to it, whereas the fleecy items were softer on the outside. These have a softer finish and it's 100% cotton on the inside of each garment. They're machine washable up to 40 degrees and I have washed mine time after time after time. I have still got my original pair of HEATTECH thermals that I bought 5 years ago and they are still going strong. I've added to my collection now just because we do go out every day and I wear things every day. There's only 2 of us, so it takes a little while for our washing to accumulate into something that I can actually put in the washing machine. So I do like to have some spare ready for when I need to wear them. Now they've got an element of stretch to them, which I appreciate, and size wise, I tend to get these thermals. Anything that I wear as an actual base layer thermal, I will get in a size small because I want them to fit a little bit more snug so that I can fit all of my other things over the top. It might be something like this, like a jumper. And then for the bottoms, these are my go-to bottoms versus the ultra warm, which I'm going to get onto in a moment. These are my go-to bottoms for wearing underneath jeans or tailored trousers or anything like that come the winter time, because they're not quite as thick as the ultra warm. Right, now if you are a Uniqlo HEATTECH regular purchaser, shall we say, it might be of interest to you to know that there are some new additions to the range this year. So these are actually a cashmere blend HEATTECH. They have 9% cashmere in them, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but when you feel them, you can feel the softness of that cashmere. Now, because cashmere is an extra fine fibre, but has excellent heat retaining qualities, these garments actually only have 70% of the thickness of the other HEATTECH items within the extra warm category, because these are also in the extra warm category. So these are slightly thinner than the thermals that I just shared, so a little less bulky, and I think bulky is probably the wrong word to use because by no means are these bulky, but they are a lot thinner but still have the same warmth factor. Now, dare I say, these actually feel a little bit more premium, and I would be very tempted to wear these as more of an outer layer. So if it were a bit chillier, I would probably layer these on top of some of the more basic thermals, because they do have a more luxury feel to them with that small element of cashmere. And again, I know it's very small, but it does make a difference. They just have a really nice sort of fluid flow to them, and I think that they'd be a really good addition if, like me, you love a basic, or even for a workwear wardrobe for winter time when you need that little bit of extra warmth. Now, my next item is something that I have featured in a lot of my videos recently, and it is the HEATTECH built-in bra top. Now, I bought one of these towards the start of the season, realised that I was wearing it every single day, so I bought the other 2 colours. And since then, I think I might have mentioned this in the most recent What's New in My Wardrobe video, I actually bought a couple more of the black just because I like black. It's very basic, good colour. And I will wear these every single day. It's what I've been reaching for the most, especially at this time of year where we haven't quite moved into winter yet, but the temperatures are definitely dropping. Now, I only have a 34B bust, so I am not larger busted. However, I would highly recommend to those of you who do have a larger bust than I, which is not difficult, to read through the reviews on the Uniqlo site, because I have personally had so much feedback on any content I've created around these integrated bra tops from larger busted women saying, they're actually great. I thought they weren't going to support me, but they do, you know, all sort of comments along those lines. So if you are larger busted and you like the idea of just not a classic bra, something that's just a lot more comfortable. In fact, this doesn't even feel like you're wearing a bra, and there is a lot to be said, even for us smaller busted ladies. There is a lot to be said for that no bra feeling, and this very much brings that to the table. Now, as we start to move into winter, there is a long-sleeved version. So this has got the same integrated bra inside with the slight padding in the cups and the elasticated band section all built in. And the beauty of these as well, which I think is probably a bit obvious, but they create a very smooth silhouette because there's no straps, there are no seams, there's no lace or anything like that. The slightly padded cups just give a really nice smooth silhouette, and then you've got no strap marks, and on the back either, no back sort of fastening marks either. So it's just really nice and smooth if you want that sort of t-shirt bra effect, I suppose you could call it, then these are amazing for doing just that. They're also just a really good base layer. Now on to my final item from within the extra warm category, and it is these pile lined tights. Now, I am not a lover of tights. They make me feel trapped and restricted, and I think that's because, unlike leggings, they obviously go over the feet. So if I buy tights, I tend to cut the feet off, which is pointless really, and why I don't buy tights. However, if these existed when I was at school, they would have been a game changer. And to be honest with you, they might have existed when I was at school, but I did not know about them. So, mums out there, if you've got a teenage daughter who has to wear a skirt to school, or maybe not teenage, but secondary school age, do her a solid. Get her some fleecy lined tights, because these have got the softest, coziest fleecy lining inside. And to be honest with you, they don't feel super thick. They feel thicker than a pair of 100 denier tights, but they don't feel super thick and bulky. So these, especially if you live in a colder area up north, shall we say, these will be a game changer. And not just for school kids either. If you have to wear something a little bit smarter for work, or if you choose to wear skirts and dresses throughout the winter season, I would highly recommend giving these a go. Right, now we are moving on to the ultra warm range. So if we go back to those terms, this is 2.25 times thicker than the classic HEATTECH. So the first thing to mention about this range is that it is a little bit more minimal. There's not as much choice. You get the crew neck top, thermal, base layer, whatever you want to call it, inner wear, and there's also a high neck version, and then there are the leggings, and that is it. So from within the ultra warm collection, you've basically just got thermals, and that's not a bad thing because they are so good. Now these I tend to reserve for, shall we say, late December, but definitely January and February. When it comes to our coldest time of year, that is when I whip these out. These have a more densely knitted fabric, so it retains heat a lot better. They've got a soft, fleecy brushed interior as well, so it has that cozy feel inside the garment. So when you have it on, you're just like, it's like wearing a hug. And they have stretch to them as well. So again, as with any of the thermals, the extra warm, ultra warm, I would always go for a size small so that they do fit tighter, and then I can wear other items on the top. Right, that is all the thermal sort of base layers covered. I'm now gonna move on to trousers. And the first pair that I have within the trouser category are my all-time favourites. These are the HEATTECH Easy Trousers. Now, I can't take credit for this because Simon actually discovered these trousers, and we made some content around these last year regarding us going on dog walks and that kind of thing. He had the men's version and wouldn't stop banging on about them, and when I felt the fleecy inside, I got very jealous and I decided to buy the women's version, and since then I have not looked back. I think they are great for things like dog walking. If you have more of an outdoorsy lifestyle, these are such a good addition to that wardrobe if you have a specific wardrobe for doing outdoorsy type things. They are a slim fit and they do look like, I suppose, a proper pair of trousers. So they have a zip fly and a popper closure. I know it's a popper, but on these trousers it's fine because it's not actually visible. But then on the back, they have an elasticated section on the waistband, so that adds to comfort because you guys know how I feel about an elasticated waistband. So they are a very comfortable pair of trousers, paired with the fact that this fleecy lining, oh, so good. They keep you so warm, and you don't need to wear the thermal base layer underneath because these have essentially got it built into these trousers. My second pair of trousers is one that I think might be new for this season because I don't remember seeing them last season. They're exactly the same as the Easy trousers, they're just a different fit and shape. and they've got some slightly different style elements to them. So these are the parachute trousers. As you can see, they have a fully elasticated waist and they are a much wider fit. So the easy trousers are slim, these are, well, they're parachute trousers. They kind of are a bit reminiscent of the sort of trousers I might have worn in my like All Saints phase, in my All Saints era. Now they do have elasticated cuffs at the bottom, which do have a little toggle, so you can adjust those and make them tighter if you wish, especially if you were going to wear them in wellies. Maybe you would want to really tighten them up. And they come in a few slightly different colours to the easy trousers, like this sort of khaki colour I really like, and I wish that this colour also came in the easy trousers, because to be honest, the wideness of these is something that I just don't need in my wardrobe. I would prefer the slimmer fit, but I really like this colour. My next pair within the trousers category are something that I have shared before and raved about. I've been buying these for maybe the last 3 years, and these are the pile-lined joggers. When it comes to joggers, regardless of how you wear them, if like me you wear them in the house when you're working from home or cleaning or just chilling, lounging about, or whether you wear them out and about, these joggers, you just cannot get cozier joggers than these. I mean, this fleecy lining, it's so thick, it's so soft. And when I say it's thick, they don't actually feel bulky. They're actually quite a flattering pair of joggers when you have them on. Now, like some of the pairs of trousers, these also have different leg lengths, but again, and I know that I've mentioned this before, but just to reiterate, the shorter leg length and the longer leg length are only available online. You cannot find them in store. It's only the regular length. Now, these come in a few different colours, and they also have a cuffed bottom hemline, if you like. So the bottoms are cuffed, which I think makes them look, dare I say, a little bit more elegant. And if you were going to wear them as part of maybe more of an athleisure outfit, mum's on a school run, for example, I know that joggers tend to be a firm favourite because they're comfortable and practical. These are a great option for winter. And then my final pair of trousers are these leggings. These I think are called the Ultra Stretch HEATTECH, high HEATTECH leggings, because they're high-waisted. So these are definitely more of a jegging, I would say. Now they do come in some sort of classic basic colours, but they also come in a couple of denim colours as well. So if you are into jeggings, particularly for comfort, then there are a couple of denim effect colours as well, some blue tones. So they have faux pockets. The pockets aren't real, but they do have real belt loops and this button on the front. The button has no function to it. These are just a pull-on style with an elasticated waist, and as with most jeggings and leggings, they are of course elasticated. So lots of range of movement in there and very, very comfortable. But unlike many other jeggings and leggings, these have a soft brushed, dare I say, fleecy inside. It's not thick and piled like it is in the joggers, but it is nice and soft. So in terms of thickness, these definitely feel thicker than the thickest of the thermals, which is the ultra warm. They definitely have more of a thickness to them. So it's the kind of pair of leggings which you can feel comfortable wearing, you know, just on their own. My next category is very short and sweet, and it is socks. These would be my number one recommendation for winter, or should we say cold season socks, like autumn, winter time, and maybe going into early spring. I cannot rave about these enough. I have bought them repeatedly, year after year after year for the last 5 years, because I just wear them relentlessly. I wear them non-stop. And there's a few different types within the range. So they've got some more kind of everyday or perhaps workwear socks, which are a little bit thinner. And then there are these, which tend to be my favourite, and they are the thicker, chunkier socks. I will wear these for any of our dog walks, for just out and about wearing day to day, but in boots, because I often tend to buy my boots with a little bit of extra room so that I can accommodate for Uniqlo's HEATTECH socks. So these are my go-to favourites for sort of day-to-day wear. And if I'm I'm not actually sure what these are called. I don't know if they have a specific name, but they're like ribbed. They're just standard sock height and they are just amazing. And then these are room socks, and these tend to be my go-to for just lounging around the house. When it gets to the deepest, darkest, coldest time in winter, I'll even wear them in bed. And now onto my final category, which is accessories. Now, admittedly, the HEATTECH accessories are my least favourite things, and I don't own any of the things which I've actually got to share with you guys today, but I do have a couple of pairs of their really thick, fluffy gloves, which they actually don't have anymore. Annoying. But the first thing that I'm going to share with you guys is the beanie. Now, this comes in some really nice colours, which is probably about the only nice thing that I've got to say about it. And you know what? There's not really specifically anything wrong with it. The design is minimal. I like the thick rib. I like the slightly thinner rib on the roll up. I think it's quite comfortable, but because it is a little bit tighter and it's not too chunky, it gives me that pea head vibe. And I've mentioned this in some of my recent content, but my go-to beanie hats are the Arquette, Alpaca and Merino wool blend. I will not veer away from those. And these are the basic gloves which essentially match the hat. So again, positives, really good, nice, core colours. They're just basic gloves as well. They're the typical sort of kind that you would have when you were a kid or even growing up as an adult. But these are touchscreen compatible, and I have tested them, and you know what? I will hold my hands up and say actually they performed pretty well with my iPhone. So there's not really anything that I can complain about with regards to fit. They are a decent pair of gloves. And to be honest with you, yeah, I think these would be something that I would use in my wardrobe. However, I've got some cashmere gloves, which I just love. I love cashmere, I can't help myself. So I wouldn't trade these for my cashmere gloves. And this is the basic scarf. Again, unisex. This comes in 4 different colours and has a 35% wool content, the rest being synthetic. Now, this to me feels really thin. And again, I think scarves are a personal preference scenario. I love bundling up in a thick, cosy, scrumptious scarf. This has more of a pashmina vibe to it, and I also don't think that it's particularly long enough either. I suppose it does the sort of job for just whipping around once, but it does feel thin. And do you know what? You don't always have to have something thick in order to feel the warmth, but for me, this just doesn't feel luxurious. It feels cheap. It's just a miss from me. And then finally, onto my last item now. This is classed as a neck warmer. I tend to call them snoods. And this is more of a souffle yarn. So I actually have one of the souffle yarn jumpers on. They have a few pieces from this range. This is double layered fabric. So it has more of the ribbed knitted fabric on the outside. Inside, same fabric, but it's a much tighter knit and it feels a bit fluffier, which I think is one of the sort of main points of souffle yarn. Now online, it says that you can wear this 3 ways. You can wear it as a neck warmer or snood. You can wear it as a headband and also as a hat. This I actually like. I personally have more, shall we say, premium options for wearing as part of my daily wardrobe, but I think if I were going to wear something less expensive for dog walking and that kind of thing, I would definitely consider one of these. Right, there we go. That is pretty much all of Uniqlo's HEATTECH covered. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you found it useful in some way. If you have got any questions whatsoever with regards to Uniqlo's HEATTECH or a specific item in today's video, do let me know, because I own and have worn the majority of the pieces in today's video, so I can comment on longevity and just from personal experience. But for now, all that's left for me to say is thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time.